Okay, for our next speaker, she's also an ally, of a lot of movements. She is an alumna of St. Teresa's College, Manila, where she studied from kindergarten to high school and took up mass communication at the University of Santo Tomas. She was among the founding members of Kasarian Kalayaan or Sarilaya, which focuses on women, health, um, and the environment, where her ecofeminism depends. She was then the project coordinator of its sustainable agriculture projects for many years, and she became a member of the international committee of the feminist action movement called World March of Women from 2003 to 2008, which has, among other issues, a strong stand on environmental protection. Later, she became Sarilaya's Secretary General up to 2014. Upon retiring from office work together with her husband, she chose to take on the challenge of sustainable living as a way of retiring. Both couple are currently involved in strengthening a small cooperative organic backyard vegetable gardens in Capas, Tarlac. Let us all welcome Monina Gayaga. Ma'am Monina, hello. Kamusta na kayo?
Hello. Thank you very much, Miss Ethel. Before I
I will
start,
also give you 20 minutes, ha?
yes,
Okay, sige.
thank you for that introduction. Before I start to share my journey, or our journey rather, I'd like to thank Dean Ofreneo for having invited me to join this 12-session course on social solidarity economy. Having listened to all the presentations in the past 5 sessions, I certainly feel privileged to have been included among those to share, considering the fact that our cooperative is rather small and still struggling, having been only 3 years in its operation. As mentioned before, Ma'am Inday said that the staff is having difficulty with retrieving my presentation, so I'll try to share it from here. Just a while. Okay. As earlier mentioned, I was part of the founding members of Sarilaya. Okay, let's go to the top. Ah, just a minute. Yeah, dapat sa taas. Okay. Yeah. Back na. Okay. Okay. As mentioned earlier, I was part of the founding members of Sarilaya, which focuses on health and environment as they impact on women's lives, especially at the grassroots level. And what we call this, we actually ventured into a pilot farm in Nueva Ecija, no? And wait, I'll just show you my outline. I have 52 slides, but don't worry, they're all mostly pictures with the attempt of showing you visually our story, our journey. And I'll try my best to keep within the time limit. So those are just pictures from, this is the household approach we did in Nueva Ecija, where we started our organic farm in around 1991, I think. And then we also started this in Eastern Samar as part of the recovery project uh, after Typhoon Haiyan. We also encouraged women to form self-mobilization, savings mobilization groups rather. And we also joined women's markets and women's trade fairs. Okay. After having spent 14 years full-time with Sarilaya, I decided to retire from full-time office work in 2015. And I was inspired by what the ecofeminist Vandana Shiva said about starting a garden. She said the solutions to the economy economic crisis and finding livelihoods are also the solutions to the crisis of the climate and also the solutions to poverty and unemployment. She said agriculture and food is an area where everyone can begin today. That is why the garden is so important. Uh, it teaches us that there's something we're all capable of doing. So with that in mind, it was not unusual for my husband and I to try and practice what we've learned in Sarilaya in our own natural garden here in Capas, Tarlac. Having bought a small piece of land cheaply in the rural areas comes with some downside. No, we live far from the road, and during times of what we call this rain, and also when the irrigation pipes are open, it's hard for us to commute, no, because the tricycle reaches only up to a certain point, then we have to walk rather 10 minutes to our own land, no, to our lab. This is our original house, the one on the left, and then we recently had an extension built so that we could accommodate guests who were interested into organic farming, learning about organic farming. We tried to live as simple as possible. It was actually a conscious decision on our part to try and live sustainably. Now we don't have house rentals to worry about, or electric bills or water bills, because we live off grid. We try to depend and learn, we call this, to live with nature, depend on our water and power supply from nature. Okay, so sorry. We have uh, recycling efforts. So we use used bottles for containing what we call this fruit fly, what call this medicine to capture fruit flies. And I never imagined myself making use of gin bottles. Would you imagine? The one on the right are gin bottles used to contain, used to storing our organic fertilizers. And since my husband works with a printing company, uh, he has many used plates, printing plates, which are actually rust proof, no? So when we didn't have money to have our fence built, we used them as fences and also as window panes. Okay, we use used what goes fruit styrofoam boxes for our seedling trays. They're much cheaper than the plastic ones for seedlings. And then my high school batchmates gave me a lot of plastic spoons and forks, used plastic spoons and forks, which we made as dividers among our young plants, so that cats and dogs running around the garden are prevented from destroying the young plants. So we produce our own natural fertilizers and pesticides. And our initial harvests were quite simple. We had corn, what call this, bananas, and that's Pechay on the right. That's my daughter on the left, that's Anna. Later on, we were able to hire a full-time gardener experienced in organic farming. And so starting January this year, these have been our modest harvests. So we had also farm guests, courtesy of People's Global Exchange, and also an outreach program in Ateneo that brought us some guests in the farm. So my husband and I, all throughout our marriage, we've been married for 45 years now, try to practice sharing both productive and reproductive roles. That's why we're able to somehow balance housework and work in the cooperative. So we were about 1 year already in Capas when 4 original members of an almost defunct cooperative approached us to help them revive the cooperative. No, although they were registered as way back as 2012, they never really functioned as a true cooperative. They had what called this. The initial capital was from the mayor. It was not a shared capital from them. They neglected legal requirements, and so there was a lot of things to fix, no, including basic systems and procedures, especially on the finance aspect. So on on March 2017, we had our first real General Assembly. And the four regional members, now we are 25, 11 of whom are women. Out of the 11, 6 are officers. We have 14 males, 4 of whom are officers. So you see, more women are active in our cooperative. Okay. They are even willing to learn roles traditionally meant for women, for men rather. So this is the vision of our cooperative to teach, to have Capas farmers, what do you call this, learn about agriculture, organic agriculture. That's our mission. So we try, although our name is Capas Organic Farmers Producers Cooperative, we have not really been certified as organic, but we are practicing natural ways in making fertilizers and pesticides, and even in controlling weeds. So that's our goal, to help improve the quality of life of its members. And our purposes are, of course, planting and setting of seedlings, vegetables, and fruits that do not make use of chemical fertilizers and pesticides. In the future, we also hope to be processing different vegetables and herbs into herbal teas and medicines. Currently, we are already processing molasses, vinegar, rice, eggshells, fish innards, etc., into different kinds of organic fertilizers and pesticides. And of course, we sell these processed products. That's our structure. Of course, the highest governing body is the General Assembly. The board of directors uh, is composed of 5 people. They are elected, and also the audit committee and the election committee are elected. But other positions like the general manager, secretary, and treasurer are appointed. Then we have different committees, including gender and development. Although happily so far, we have not had any major problems. Actually, I suppose it's quite normal in rural communities. That's usually husband and wife help each other in housework as well as productive work. So we are registered with the CDA, also with the BIR. We have a mayor's permit, a barangay permit. So we have been issued a certificate of tax exemption starting last year. We have been awarded 4 shallow tube wells by DA and ADAR. We have a grass cutter and 2 sprayers also from the government, and gadgets for measuring moisture and pH level of the soil. And just recently, last Friday actually, we were informed by the Department of Agriculture that our cooperative will be granted a solar irrigation water pump that will benefit rice lands of our members. So this is the picture on the upper left picture is the sprayer. The right one is the shallow tube well. The one on the lower left is the grass cutter, and the one on the right is the gadget for measuring the pH level and moisture of the soil. So we try to comply with the government requirements every year. We secure our certificate of compliance from the CDA, and every year we comply with the requirements of MARO on the, what they call this, they call it ITEMA. It's actually Information Technology Enabled Measurement Maturity. Every year we have to submit reports on these matters. So these are just some pictures of government people that we have encountered with. The lady on the lower left side is Miss Hemelin Cardinosa, who is the CDA representative in our area. So our sources of income come from selling produce, from the small interest we give from credit operations to our members. We rent out our equipment, and then we also earn a little from farm visits, and of course from donations. So ways of selling. One way is directly selling to consumers. The compound of our municipal hall has a space free for use every Monday, so we sell there. And then there's also a way of pick and pay. Friends come over and pick their vegetables, harvest them, and pay for them. We also earn a little from visitors, no? The NGO R1, or Rice Watch Action Network, recently had their field visit just last February before lockdown. with their LGU participants in our area. So good food community. I know we have a guest afterwards who's going to speak after me and will explain more about themselves. But siguro just let me say that uh, they are a dynamic group of young professionals who are very patient with us. Patient because although we are not always complying with some of the requirements of our MOA with them, they still continue to support us. No, actually, we have a MOA with them since 2016, which dictates a certain fixed prices every year for all the things that they buy. No matter if the market price is high or low, the the price for that year is constant for those particular products. And then depending on the climate and the volume of our produce, we deliver to them 2 or 4 times a month. There are rare months that it goes up even to up to 6 times a month. Okay. So they also introduced us to healthy options. There was a time that we were delivering to healthy options. They also tried to introduce us to a fast food chain and other big restaurants. But you know, as big businesses are, they gave us a very low quotation for our products. So we did not continue with that opportunity. So these are some solidarity examples that I can share. Within the cooperative, of course, there's the tulungan, no, or bayanihan. No? The barangay council, barangay development council gave us the free use of an old barangay hall, and we had it repainted through the donations of some NGO
Excuse
friends.
me,
Yes,
Monina.
yes,
5 more minutes. 5 more minutes.
yes, thank you,
I
ma'am.
will give you 5 more minutes.
Yes,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank
So there are
you.
solidarity examples within the cooperative and also from friends outside, those who believe in our what they call this practice of organic farming and who also who believe in the power of cooperatives. So we had Dr. Jimmy Tan, and then we also had Len Messina from Carilaya who discussed financial literacy. We also had Mr. Ray Gonzalez who discussed food as medicine. And we had members from Good Food Community, namely Charlene and Mabi, who did a cooking demo. We also are very cognizant of the fact that one of the problems of the agricultural sector is that we are an aging sector. Matatanda na ang mga farmers. So we want more people to be involved, young people. So we had this partnership with the TSU Agricultural Entrepreneur students who came to learn about us. So we taught them, they did some field work and also we taught them about making fertilizers. There was also this immersion of Ateneo business students for 4 weekends and they stayed in our homes and they learned our life. Okay. So I'm about to end, no? These are our present challenges. Capacity building. We have very crude basic office equipments. Our laptop has no battery. It's very slow. We don't own a vehicle, which will be a big help uh, to delivering our goods, no? In terms of capability building, we need to train second liners. We need to popularize and imbibe PGS standards, no? We need to have other sources of income. Also the challenge that some members are already selling their lands because as you know, Capas is the place for the, what do you call this, green city, no? Also this top to bottom approach of government. We keep on sending them requests for things, but they keep on giving us things that we not request, but sometimes, well, it's also good, no? But we have problems also with stiff government regulations like online reporting for CDA, and then patronage politics exists still, and also some governance style of some LGUs and LGAs. Ways forward, we have to be more aggressive in accessing of resources. We're presently writing project proposals. DA has offered a loan facility, what we call this, interest free. So we're trying to access a vehicle from them. And then we need to do more aggressive recruitment and of course to have a serious succession plan. We need to engage the Barangay Development Council, also the Municipal Development Council, of which we are already a part of. Of course, there is this opportunity now because of ASEC to strengthen SSE linkages. One of the ways forward that I forgot to put here but is mentioned in the previous slide is the fact that we need to have a PGS certification. Okay, that is all for my presentation. Thank you for this opportunity and your time in listening.
Okay.
Thank you, Monina. Alam niyo po, naranasan kong matikman yung mga gulay ni Monina, no? Remember you were at the Center for Women's and Gender Studies
Yes, in
in
March
March
9.
before the
March
ECQ.
9.
So I was able to buy, yeah, I was able to buy a lot of your vegetables. Ang sarap-sarap talaga pag organic, diba? So,
Salamat po.
matamis,
Thank you.
tapos basta masarap siya, parang malinis sa pakiramdam and it's really very fresh. Sayang na-cut yung ating women's celebration in March because of
Opo.
the enhanced community quarantine. But thank you
Yes.
very much, Manina, for your presentation.
Thank you too.
Okay.